Live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
And yes, here we are again another day, committed to being your consumer advocate, all about helping you understand your buying decisions here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We got a local flair here, of course, 80 different categories, consumer advocate content and advice. We got the A-team lineup today. I tell you what, we're going to end the show with Rob Blackman. He's a mayoral candidate for St. Pete. He's running for mayor of St. Pete. Robert Blackman. We got a criminal defense attorney, Anthony Rickman, in the house, the Rickman law firm as well. And our first and second segment, we're going to have Diane VANCE, Fairway Independent Mortgage, here on the program, DianeVance.com, as well as Ray Hall Appraisals right here in Tampa Bay. All things for valuation of properties, commercial, residential, all types of real estate property. He can value it for you. So we got a great lineup here on the program today. And I want to let you know about one of our sponsors for the program. We got Discovery Golf Cars here in Tampa Bay. Give them a shout out. Let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. You can find them at discoverygolfcars.com. So much fun to own a golf car. So if you haven't had one before, check them out. They got the Easy Go, the Star EV, Cushman, and more. And we like to feature our real estate listings. So 722 Pruitt Drive in Madeira Beach, one of our hot listings. This is a duplex on the beach. Bring your boat. You got deep water access here at 722 Pruitt Drive, Madeira Beach. Beautiful property, about 1,500 square feet, and multiple units that you could rent out or live in one side, rent out the other. 95-foot lot. Great opportunity here in Tampa Bay. And you can see all of our listings at PlatinumMVPTeam.kw.com.
This is God's country.
And please follow the show on Spotify. We're on Spotify, iTunes, Podcast, YouTube. We're almost breaking records at YouTube now, so subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can see over 1,200 videos there. And let's introduce Ray Hall in studio. Ray, how you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great, Brandon. How about yourself?
Excellent, man. Blessed and highly favored.
There you go. Always love being here. Been looking forward to it.
What's on the agenda for talking points today?
Oh, man, there's so much we could talk about with this real estate market, as you very well know.
Yeah.
We're starting to see a little bit of a leveling of values, but, we're still seeing an active market out there.
Right.
Business is not slowed. I think for anybody, not, the realtors, the appraisers, the lenders.
Yep.
Now we've got, once again, our governor stepping up, saying, if you're law enforcement and losing your job, come on down here to Florida, and we're going to give you a bonus, and because we need you. So
love it.
Who knows what that's going to do? I mean, we could just have a huge influx of population right now.
We're going to have the safest state in the union.
Absolutely. We had the most beautiful. Now we, the safest one. And it just shows how great of a place Florida is to live, and we take care of our people. So
right.
it's some pretty exciting time down here.
Best place to live, work, and play. Florida, Tampa
Absolutely.
Bay is
Absolutely.
Awesome right here in Tampa Bay, and a lot of good stuff happening around the Tampa Bay market. And also Diane VANCE, Fairway Independent Mortgage, all things financing. Reach out to Diane VANCE. Hey, Diane.
Hey, Brandon. How you doing today?
Excellent. Thank you. And yourself?
I'm great. Gorgeous, in Florida like always. And we are seeing the same thing. We are seeing a big influx because people can work remote. So we are seeing so many people that are making Florida their home. So they're able to sell their properties either up north or out west or wherever they're coming from, and they're able to put that money towards the down payment on the house in Florida. So it's a win-win situation.
Yeah, it is. And there's a lot of things, misnomers. We'd often talk about misnomers people have. What are you still getting out there as like your top misnomers that people just, sometimes it's a first-time buyer. They don't really know about down payment or maybe even, other areas. What are you seeing?
Well, the biggest misnomer is that people don't realize about the down payment, and that's the biggest thing, is that they think they have to have more than what they have to have, and that's because probably they talk to their parents or somebody like that. And I'm really careful about walking them through everything from mortgage insurance to, you have to have an expert be able to kind of explain the differences in the mortgage insurance companies and what they do. A lot of people don't know what they do. They actually protect the lender. And so you don't have to have 20% down, and that's how we're able to finance without 20% down. So a lot of people don't understand that. That is probably the biggest misnomer there is. The other thing is that we cannot use cash at home. You have to put it in, you have to have it in the bank, or it can be gift funds, or it can be borrow from your 401k. There's a lot of different ways. As long as you're borrowing against a secured asset, you can use that for a down payment. You can't just go out and take a personal loan. That doesn't work. But, and you can't have it under your mattress. I had somebody that told me they had $10,000 under the mattress at home. So I explained to them about we still follow the same rules that, that the banks do because of, money laundering. We have to follow that same thing. If you have more than $10,000, we have to fill out a special form.
Yep.
So there is a lot of confusion out there about what you can and cannot do, and sometimes with deposits in your bank, people don't understand. So we explain that depending on your monthly income, depending on the program, you can have 50% as but you don't have to verify where the deposit comes from. If it's more than your normal paycheck, if you have, let's say you make $5,000 a month, you could have up to $2,500 in your bank that you don't have to verify where it comes from. So a lot of people don't understand that. That's a conventional loan. So there's a lot of little different things, little nuances out there that really people you walk through, and that's why conversations and just not doing it online and not talking to somebody is so important, because there can be a lot of problems in the end.
Yeah, that is what a lot of these big hedge funds are trying to make our industry. They're trying to turn it into a click and get the deal done and just take out the whole human experience. I hate to see that. I hate to see what's happening, and then some people fall for it. Then they get to the closing table, and there's all these fees stacked up on there, Ray, and people, you see that. But it seems like these big companies, these big monopoly-type companies are coming in and just really taking that human experience out of the real estate business.
Absolutely. And, we see it in my business with appraising, where people are saying, well, they're going to get rid of appraisers. They don't need you guys anymore. They have these, automated valuation models that can go ahead and do calculations, and that's just as good. Well, you might think so, but just wait till you renovate your house and the automated valuation model doesn't know that.
Yeah. And
then you go try to get that loan, and your value is going to be, I had a friend of mine who did, he took some appraisals he did and compared it to the Zillow.
Yeah.
And some of them were 40% different.
Yeah.
Not in the person's favor either.
Yeah.
So, they want to get rid of the appraisers. It's an expense. It's this, it's that. Yeah, but we're saving millions in losses. And keep in mind, you might sit there and think, well, the bank loses the money. What do I care? Mm-hmm. Well, that affects your interest rates. That affects your loan to values, because the bank actually analyzes the risk of the loan based on defaults and adjusts rates that way. So, we all need a human element because that gut feeling is really what makes a difference between, those computers and having that person there.
Yeah, absolutely. If you just joined us, we're talking with Diane VANCE, Fairway Independent Mortgage, Ray Hall Appraisals. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes. And to take that human element out is just going to really be to the detriment of the seller and the buyer.
Everybody.
And everybody's going to lose, because how many transactions have you seen that have just gone through, no problems, no need for negotiation, or hey, by the way, the termite inspection came in, here's what we saw, what about these comps? Well, the comp value came in a little bit low. There's all these different things that can come up in a loan transaction, Diane, and to try to take it out of the human element is just something that I'm totally against.
Oh yeah, and also just understanding the financial, the financial part of just not the mortgage, but the rest of your, interest rates are so low, and I always, I tell people, they want to talk to a financial planner, because interest rates are so low. You should be able to earn more than that in the market. You should not have to. I would never put all that money down, or if you do just to get the deal, that's fine, but you can always pull it out while the interest rates are low. And just the financial element of talking people and explaining the process is so important, because people don't understand, even people that have been through, because this changed a lot.
Yeah.
They don't, the average person, keeps their house 7 years, something like that.
Yep.
So it's changed a lot since a lot of people purchased their last home. So it's really important to kind of understand and think about just, everything. And yeah, you're right. I need realtors to be helping on their side of the contract, because exactly what you said, repairs, termite reports, whatever. There's always a solution, but you have to have somebody there explaining the solution so that people don't go, kind of emotional on everybody. You have to have somebody there that's a level head that can explain how to get things done.
That's right. Yeah, the human element needs to be involved, and we need to move away from these hedge fund type buyers, these people that are coming into, essentially what they are is a bunch of millionaires or people that have a lot of money. They pool together funds, billions of dollars in some cases, and then they come in and they compete against that first-time home buyer, that family that has the kids, and they're trying to move in. It's their first purchase, or maybe that veteran that just got back from, maybe moved back from Afghanistan. He's over there defending our country. He or she is defending our country, and they come back and they say, hey, I'd like to use my VA certificate. I would love to purchase a home, but they're up against these hedge funds throwing cash around. And by the way, they're subsidized illegally, in my opinion. I wish it was illegal, by the Federal Reserve. That's giving them super low rates, sweetheart deals on loans, and they're also pushing a social credit score system. And you won't hear this on mainstream news, but it's a CSG score. We're going to play a clip of that in the next segment. So if you want to find out what's really happening on with these big institutions and how it's going to really be a detriment to the United States, not only I think it's the social side of it, but also the economy, because they're squeezing out small business owners. Your average mom and pop is getting squeezed out. They're getting hurt. That's why we want you to support our local partners, our local expert contributors. Diane VANCE, Fairway Independent Mortgage, local lender right here in Tampa Bay. You can sit down and meet, talk. She's got a great team. Support the local economy by supporting the Consumer Quarterback Show. All you have to do is reach out to our hotline, 813-750-0550. We're the good guys here. We're going to help you win in any marketplace. That's our goal. We've been on air for 9 years now, helping you win. 813-750-0550. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, more with Diane VANCE, Fairway Independent Mortgage, as well as Ray Hall Appraisals here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Make sure you check us out at consumerqb.com, Spotify, iTunes podcast, that way you can hear the show and kind of stay in touch on your time, at your convenience. And of course, over 1,200 videos on YouTube as well. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Brandon Rhymes Realty on YouTube. We'll be right back after this short break. Don't go anywhere.
This is Warwick Dunn, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show, hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hey, Brandon Rhymes here for Cleaning Commandos here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Cleaning Commandos are hiring, and they're offering competitive wages, flexible hours, relaxed atmosphere, and a sign-on bonus. Reach out if you'd like a career with the Cleaning Commandos here in Tampa Bay. Info at cleaningcommandosllc.com or call 813-750-0550, 813-750-0550. Cleaning Commandos, Consumer Quarterback Show. Hey, Brandon Rhymes here. We are looking for real estate investors. We've got a new relationship bringing us a tremendous amount of off-market real estate investment opportunities. So text the word investor to our hotline, 813-750-0550. Off-market real estate investment opportunities. Text investor to 813-750-0550. Brandon Rhymes here, Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, looking for real estate investors. Send us a text.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes, Consumer Quarterback Show, helping you win in any marketplace. That's what we do. We got lots of partners, local area experts, attorneys, CPAs, financial advisors, all types of great experts that we bring on the show. We interview, and we help you understand your buying decisions, help you avoid a lot of the scams, the bad advice out there, what I call the commission breath. You know, every time you turn around, you got somebody talking to you about selling you something. So consumerqb.com, that's your resource, and we'd love to help you in any marketplace. We like to feature our real estate listings on the show. My wife, Lindsay, and I own a top-ranked real estate team here in Tampa Bay, the Platinum MVP team. at Keller Williams Realty, 100 Oakmont Lane in Bel Air. This is a condo that has $1 million views. Unit number 611 in Bel Air. So if you love golf, if you love beach, if you love the pool, this is a great property for you. 100 Oakmont Lane, Bel Air. Beautiful condo, 1,300 plus square feet, 2-bedroom, 2-bath, in-unit laundry, and more. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, so I want to go right into this clip. I want to play this clip about Citigroup. This is from Human Events, Jack Poso's clip. This is going to be a clip here talking about the big banks. You know, these are the guys, these are the companies that took the bailout money. They took our taxpayer money to bail them out back in, '08. And now look what they're doing with these ESG scores, these social credits, basically what China's doing right now.
We know what you're about, Citigroup. We know that you're not some purveyor of equality in the world, all right? We know what you've been up to. Glorious. Our glorious big banks are helping us all. This is all going back to what I've been talking about for weeks now. This is the Great Reset. This is part of the ESGs, the Corporate Social Credit Score. They are starting it there, and they're going to institute this across the rest of the country. But why also are they doing this? They are doing this to get the left on their side while they push corporate ownership of everything. You'll own nothing and you'll be happy.
Corporate ownership of everything. That's essentially what they're pushing right now. And they do it in the name, they say it's in the name of equality, et cetera. No, it's environmental, social, ESG score, ES, and the corporate governance. So environmental, social, corporate governance. Basically do what we want you to do, our DEI, equity, inclusion, all that. And so anyways, local lender supporting the local economy, that's what I wanted to talk to Diane about. So the difference is Fairway Independent Mortgage. Talk about Fairway, how they differ from some of these big banks, Diane.
Well, I will tell you one thing. A lot of hedge funds own many of the mortgage companies. Fairway is an employee-owned mortgage company. We do not have a hedge fund. All of our employees own our mortgage company, so very important. And the big banks are, even the regional banks are, they're all publicly held. They're interested in what they can do for their stockholders, not
right.
so much for the customers. Plus, the banks can all do, they make money on deposits and commercial loans all different ways. The only thing we do is mortgages. That's it. So we don't do anything else other than that. That is our focus. So that is the biggest difference, is that is our only stream of income. I'm sure there's others that I don't know about, investments and things like that within Fairway. But, we watched our stock price because it's actually, it went from $9 when they started, a few years ago, and now it's up to like 65, and it's privately, that's a private thing that Prudential does for us. They actually evaluate our stock, and the reason is because we've done everything by word of mouth. We don't advertise on all the time and things like that. It's all referrals. That's the way we built the business. So we're a national lender, but we're a small town type, or not a small town, but a local town.
Right.
We know our market.
You get that feel.
So we want the feeling that we're just your local lender.
Absolutely. Yep. And supporting the show, supporting the local economy, very similar rate. When you think about the big versus the small town, it seems like, and you have these holidays where they say shop small on this day, shop small on that day. Right. They're squeezing us as much as they can. The small town diner. That's why I always like to try to support a local diner or local steakhouse if I can versus the big brands.
Yeah. Plus they have better food.
Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. It doesn't. Yeah.
Going to one of the local chains, it takes a surprise out of what you're going to get, Yeah. That's not like a box of chocolates.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, being a small business owner and being a local business, I absolutely can relate to that. Yeah. And, fortunately, there's very few large corporate appraisal firms. So, it hasn't been impacting us like that.
Yeah.
But, it's what's that going to lead to?
Right.
Taking away the small businesses, you're going to be under the thumb of large corporations, and they're not going to have that sentiment that the small business owners have. Small town America is almost gone when you think about it. Yep. And without supporting the local businesses, it's just going to get worse.
Yeah. Well, you look at the strip malls too. You know, you drive around, you look at the strip center, the business centers, and it's like one corporate national chain after another, whether it's a TGI Fridays or whoever, right? So you insert national brand there. So we're losing that. I mean, we're losing a little bit of that nostalgia that we used to have with small town America, with having, America. And what's really scary is these ESG scores. If you haven't heard of that, it's basically what they've been doing in China for years. If you don't do a certain amount of ESG, so that's environmental, if you're not doing certain things environmentally that they want you to do, the social, of course, we know where that goes. It's anti-whiteness that we saw in Coca-Cola and other companies, and then the governance, corporate governance, how you're running your organization. Then if you don't check all the boxes there, well, hey, maybe you can't go outside, maybe you can't buy groceries, maybe you can't, there's different examples there, but essentially that's where all this leads, and it's really disturbing to me. It's very scary.
That's scary.
Yeah.
It really is. And so we're here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We got Diane VANCE on the program, Fairway Independent Mortgage, longtime friend of the program, and DianeVance.com. Ray Hall Appraisals here on the show. Ray, what else? I just want to kind of throw it to you, like, what else? There's a lot we could talk about. We could talk about development when you're developing vacant land. We could talk about the dry cleaner I just listed, for example. Valuation in real estate is a big deal. It's very subjective too in a lot of ways, right?
Yes, it's subjective, but it has to be supportable. Right. And that's where the appraisers a lot of times run into problems. Is we may have an inexperienced listing agent. And, we appraise below and they say, well, I know I can get that amount. And I have to sit there and say, that's great. And you probably could in this market, but I have to prove it.
Right.
So can you prove it to me so I can prove it to them?
Based on a comparable basis.
Right. Exactly. And unfortunately, that happens too many times. One kind of common mistake is we get it and we say, well, I have all this on a price per square foot, which is how you guys usually value. Appraisals aren't done on a price per square foot,
right? Because
that price per square foot changes as amenities are added or differences in sizes, things like that.
Yep.
So, when we get into an appraisal, if I send an appraisal out with an opinion of value and I don't bracket it within a larger number and a smaller number, that's going to come back to me.
Yeah. And you have to bracket the subject with one larger sale and one higher sale, one lower sale.
Well, I have to bracket GLA, amenities,
GLA,
gross living area, amenities.
Yeah.
I can't just make a across the board adjustment for a pool. So, there's a lot of complexity that goes into the valuation we have to do.
Yep.
And a lot of people don't realize that. So the value is a very complex thing.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I've sat down with realtors just to go over our process and what we do, just to help them out. I know you and I have discussed it on many occasions. But it's and right now with the way the market is, I mean, it's sometimes tough to keep up with our job because there's so much that goes on behind the scenes.
Yeah, exactly. And you can't do it like some of these websites try to do it with the dollar per square foot average of this zip code or this area. You cannot do it. Diane, same to you. Any comments on the valuation side of the business or what you're seeing?
Oh yeah, so we're seeing. It's funny how it catches up to whatever people are paying. Of course, that's the market dictates it. So, sometimes we're seeing some leveling off, like Ray talked about. But Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac has an evaluation that they can do internally. It's not. I mean, trust me, it has to be we don't get them very often where they waive the appraisal because an online appraisal value meets the sales price, especially in the market that we've been in for the last 2 years. But when we do, it's typically that it's much lower than what the actual value is. Otherwise, they wouldn't give it. So it's very unusual that we would ever get an online. Probably 95% of our appraisals have to have 98% probably has to have a live appraiser go out and take a look at them.
Yeah, we lucked out last month. We had one where we were able to do the desktop on it because it's such a great area. One of the properties.
I think I did that one.
That's Seminole Heights.
It doesn't happen often.
Yeah, that's right. Well, that was great. So the best place to find you guys, Diane, are you at DianeVance.com? Best place for you?
Yep, DianeVance.com is my website and has some information on there. Or, you can always text me or call me.
And RayHallAppraisals.com, 813-452-5369.
All right. Good stuff. Thanks so much, guys. Appreciate you talking about all that good stuff here. And coming up, we got Anthony Rickman, attorney Anthony Rickman on the Consumer Quarterback Show, the Rickman Law Firm. We're going to talk about criminal defense law right here on the program. Later on, we've got Robert Blackman as well, St. Pete mayoral candidate, going to be here on the program. Stay with us. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back after the short break.
This is Chris Voss, former FBI lead hostage negotiator and owner of the Black Swan Group, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
Yeah. What clips do you want? Looking. I don't think you do, because the stuff that you had me grab was from like last weekend. The only thing that you have here, but I don't know if it's relevant, is the January 6th FBI implants. Yeah, that's not, it's not no longer relevant.
Five, four, three, two, one. You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here. Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty. We're going to talk criminal defense law here just one moment. Alec Baldwin case has been in the news, as well as Kyle Rittenhouse. He was a self-defense case with some of the looting and rioting going on. I think that was out in Portland area. I might be wrong on that. But I want to thank one of our sponsors here, Replenish IV Solutions. Give a quick shout out to Stephen and Lisa Gunnan at Replenish IV Solutions. If you want to feel energized, hydrated, and replenished, reach out to Replenish IV Solutions. Let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. It's a safe and effective way to restore your body's systems. You're going to be injecting vitamins, all the good stuff into your body, enabling your body to perform and boost your immunity. Replenish IV Solutions. Let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. All right, we got a hot listing here in Tampa Bay, 4302 North Nebraska Avenue. This is a property that we just listed. Beautiful property, office building, corner lot. Right here in Tampa Bay. It's in Seminole Heights. You have your own private billboard as well. You got your own billboard, 4302 North Nebraska. You could move your office here if you are looking to grow or expand, 2,100 plus square feet. And you can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, we got criminal defense attorney Anthony Rickman in the house, the Rickman Law Firm. Welcome back, sir.
Bernard, thanks for having me.
Hey, my pleasure. So, yeah, some interesting stuff in the news. It seems like we're never short of content here. But Alec Baldwin case, I heard also just recently they were shooting cans prior to one of the scenes. And so live ammunition, was it a gun? What's going on there?
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting case. It's a lot of interesting legal issues from a law perspective.
Yeah.
Can somebody be charged criminally? Obviously, I think we'll see a civil implication. Someone's going to get sued. Someone's paying some money to the family of the deceased. But the question is there criminal liability? And who does that criminal liability fall upon? When you talk about fatal shootings or accidental shootings, I deal with them a lot in my practice. I have quite a few cases now where my clients are accused of aggravated manslaughter with a firearm as a result of an accidental shooting. No one intended to kill anybody, but a firearm was discharged that resulted in the death of another. I have a case where I represent the victim of the family of a victim who was killed in an accidental shooting. And those cases are tough because everyone wants to look at the end, the conclusion, as opposed to what actually caused the firearm to be discharged.
Right.
In the Alec Baldwin case, there's that theory that you point the gun, that gun shoots somebody, then that person is criminally liable. You're looking at the outcome as opposed to the events surrounding it. Mm-hmm. And that's just not the law.
So the precursor to what happened?
Correct. You have to look at the surrounding circumstances of the shooting to determine if there's criminal liability.
Right.
And it's not just mere negligence. It's not just holding a gun and that gun going off. You have to prove what's called culpable negligence. That's willful, wanton behavior with reckless disregard for human life. Doing something so dangerous that one would likely foresee death or serious bodily injury occurring to another as a result of your actions.
Wow.
So you look at Alec Baldwin. I mean, he's an actor.
Yep.
He's not a stuntman.
Yep.
He's not he's not a trained in weapons, and he's given a gun that has a loaded round that's loaded with rounds. It's Colt 45.
Right.
And ultimately, in his acting, it's discharged, and this person's tragically killed.
Right.
And there's a group of people who want to go after Alec Baldwin.
Yeah.
Well, what's he supposed to do? He's handed a gun. What?
Now, here's the other side of that, because he's also a producer.
Yeah.
Right? So that's where he might have some of his liability.
Without a doubt, and that's the civil liability to it. And if he had any responsibility. Look, every gun owner has a responsibility, and everyone who possesses a gun has a responsibility before you point that gun. First of all, never point it at anybody.
Right.
They're actors. I understand it. They got to point it to make it look real for TV.
Yep.
But whenever you point a gun in any setting, if you're going to do it as an actor, you better check to make sure there's no rounds in that firearm. You better do your steps to make sure if it's a clip, the clip is removed, the slide is racked back. You look in the slide. You put your finger in there to make sure there's no bullet in the chamber in case one slips in.
Yep.
Those steps weren't taken in this case. And if they were, then that woman wouldn't be dead. Yeah. So you have to, there is a theory that, look, he's a producer. He's a person who possesses the gun. He's the person who's culpable. He's the person responsible.
Yep.
And then you have the other side, the carelessness of how these people handled guns on set. Where there are 12 people walked off set.
Yeah, there was a lot of talk about that.
Yeah, they're afraid. I read a story today where they're walking around with guns under their arms, pointed at people from behind.
Wow.
Just the recklessness of these guns. And, not to get political here, but these people acting recklessly are the same people who are against gun rights.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of people saying, hey, look, Alec Baldwin, you've been anti-gun your entire life. Yep. And now you are involved in a circumstance where you've been careless with a firearm. You've been possibly reckless with a firearm.
Yep.
This is what you've preached against, and now you do something like this.
Well, Anthony, he even had that tweet that they brought up where he had in the past, he shared, how you kind of retweet or retweet, and he put something in there. Oh, this officer, how does it feel, to be to shoot someone? So he's making fun essentially of a police officer who shot someone. I think it was inadvertent shooting in the line of duty. And then, so here it is, comes full round on you. It's karma, man.
It is, man. And you always see the outrage of everybody talking about now this one innocent person being killed by Alec Baldwin. You see that outrage. But what about the outrage of all the other people who were killed in Chicago?
Yeah.
We talked about this last week.
Absolutely.
With, Lori Lightfoot, with all the deaths in Chicago. This is just one person.
Yep.
And you talk about the hypocrisy on this, and that, now we're looking at Alec Baldwin. Imagine, God forbid, it was Charleston Heston who had that gun and it accidentally discharged.
Yep.
There would be super outrage because he was involved in the NRA.
Yep.
And, it has to work both ways politically.
Yeah.
And now we see a circumstance where somebody who is very anti-gun rights, who's in a position having to defend himself against the same mob that he was part of.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. The double standard that happens, on the far left. A lot of times when I say left, I mean far left. I've got liberal friends. I've got friends across the spectrum. But when I'm talking about wokeness, I'm talking about these people just pushing CRT and then going after and demonizing the parents that are asking in the school board meetings, what's being taught. And then the one parent, I feel so bad for that one parent. His daughter got raped. And then they moved the kid, the trans kid that went into the women's bathroom, wore a skirt, to another school. He did the same thing. He repeated it. So these are idiotic views that just a far left, probably 10, 15% actually believe and follow and push.
Yeah, and we see it now. We see people being canceled. Look, Dave Chappelle. We see it every day with this society that we're living in, where it's okay if you agree with us, and it's okay to have a voice. But if that voice is different than what we believe in, the mob believes in,
right,
you're demonized.
Yep. You're going to be canceled.
It's the world we live in.
Yeah, if you say there's more than two genders, you're wrong. If it's if you say there's only two genders, let me rephrase that. Then you're wrong. All right, we're talking with attorney Anthony Rickman here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, the Rickman Law Firm. Again, another local area expert business owner right here in Tampa Bay. Support the local economy is what we always talk about. The hotline number is 813-750-0550. Call or text. Any questions you want to be introduced to Anthony, call or text 813-750-0550. Call or text that line. Okay, moving on to Kyle Rittenhouse. This is an interesting as well. From what I know about the story, he was there. He was around the Antifa riots last summer, which of course, the fake stream media, the lying media said it was just peaceful protests. But you had stuff burning, you had buildings burning, federal buildings getting attacked, and all this going on. And then I guess they turned on him at some point, so he pulled out his gun and defended himself, if that's what I understand.
Yeah, and looking at what happened, he was there to help what he believed protect the community.
Right.
And in the process of doing so, it's apparent on video that he was attacked. A guy comes at him with a skateboard. He's hit him with a skateboard, and in his mind, what he's going to argue, whether the jury believes him or not, his defense is that, look, I was acting in self-defense.
Yeah.
I was there. I had the right to carry my firearm. I possessed that firearm lawfully. Yep. And in doing so, I was attacked. I retreated. And despite my retreating, I did what I can do to preserve my life. Yeah. And in circumstance, it's a lot like Florida law. You can see stand your ground law. Right. Where in a stand your ground case where you're in a place where you have the right to be and you're attacked, you can meet force with force, including deadly force, to prevent yourself from being injured, prevent yourself from being killed, or prevent somebody from committing a felony against you. Right. And I think Kyle Rittenhouse is going to argue that just not necessarily stand your ground, but he was justified under self-defense, that justifiable use of deadly force in protecting himself from these people who, are on video, they're attacking him.
It was a mob too, right?
It was a mob. It was, people. And look, he put himself in that position. Right. No matter how you cut it, he's there with the firearm. He put himself in a very bad position. Yep. But the question is although he put himself in that bad position, was he justified in defending himself from that perceived and actual attack? Look, we saw, the guy hit him with a skateboard. If he doesn't shoot, is that mob going to kill him? Right. And that's the defense that he's going to raise.
Yeah, or kick his teeth in and cause him medical bills, that all that kind of stuff. And then now the judge also, this was interesting. The judge came out and said he can't be called a victim, or the person who got shot can't be called a victim.
Yeah, so as a criminal defense attorney, one of the things you want to do is you want to limit the government or the state's argument before you get to trial. You don't want a jury hearing certain things. So in the form what's called a motion in limine, and we filed a lot before our trials, saying we want to prevent the government from saying or doing a certain thing. Right. Because it's prejudicial to the jury. That the prejudicial effect of the jury hearing something outweighs any sort of probative value, any sort of value the jury is going to have. So in this case, what the defense attorneys did, and I think was a great strategic move for them, is that they asked the court to prevent the government or the state from calling the individuals who were shot victims. Yep. And the reason being is that when you say the word victim, you're presuming that they have been subject to a criminal act. Yeah. They're the victim.
They've done wrong.
That somebody did wrong against them. Yeah. And what the defense did is that said, by calling them the victim, you're automatically predisposing to the jury that they were wronged in some way. In this case, killed unlawfully. Because if it's a lawful killing, they're not a victim. They're somebody who was unfortunately deceased and killed, but they're not a victim. Right. And the other thing the defense did is that, the government, on the other hand, the government tried to prevent the defense from doing certain things. They tried to prevent the defense from calling the people who were killed rioters and looters.
Right.
And the judge is allowing that. So now you're going to see an advantage of based upon semantics.
Yeah.
Because that in closing arguments and opening statements, the defense is going to argue that Kyle Rittenhouse was defending himself against maybe sex offenders. One of the person was a sex offender who attacked him, who were rioting, looting, and destroying the town.
Yep.
And that they came at him. And that's going to be the crux of their defense. And the government can't stand up there now and say, he killed these innocent victims.
Right.
So when you hear these words matter, especially in a court of law. And now you have the defense with an advantage. And one of the reasons they're allowed to do this and call them looters or rioters is because Rittenhouse is most likely either going to testify or they're going to present evidence that this is what they were doing.
Yes.
And it goes to the state of mind of the shooter.
Right.
That he felt they were rioting, they were looting, they were violent,
That's
and about
right.
to attack him. And that's why he had to act in self-defense.
Yeah. Very similar with the Trayvon Martin case. The kid was, an MMA fighter. He kicking what's his name's butt, and he pulls out the boom, shoots him, and then very similar. He was standing his ground. Unfortunately, we got to leave it there. Anthony, where's the best place for people to find you?
You reach me at therickmanlawfirm.com, 813-999-0502.
All right, good stuff. Thanks for coming in, man.
Thanks for having me.
That was very insightful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right, we're going to come right back with Robert Blackman, St. Pete mayoral candidate on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. You don't want to miss it.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rhymes, knock out your competition.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hey, Brandon Rhymes here. We are looking for real estate investors. We've got a new relationship bringing us a tremendous amount of off-market real estate investment opportunities. So text the word investor to our hotline, 813-750-0550. Off-market real estate investment opportunities. Text investor to 813-750-0550. Brandon Rhymes here, Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, looking for real estate investors. Send us a text. Hey, Brandon Rhymes here for Cleaning Commandos here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Cleaning Commandos are hiring, and they're offering competitive wages, flexible hours, relaxed atmosphere, and a sign-on bonus. Reach out if you'd like a career with the Cleaning Commandos here in Tampa Bay. Info at cleaningcommandosllc.com or call 813-750-0550, 813-750-0550. Cleaning Commandos, Consumer Quarterback Show.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty. Quick shout out to Veteran Gutters. Brandon Porter and his team, they do such a great job. If you're adding gutters onto a business or a home or an office, work with Veteran Gutters. Brandon Porter, I can tell you from firsthand experience, he's a first-class operation, American-made products. He served our country. He is a veteran, and he named his company Veteran Gutters. Give him a call. Let him know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. All right, a couple of hot listings here in Tampa Bay. We got some properties available that I think are just great opportunities. 5602 Land O'Lakes Boulevard. This is a development opportunity, 7 acres on North U.S. Highway 41 and Land O'Lakes. This is 7 acres. It's on a lake. You've got C2 zoning for general commercial. Great opportunity to purchase real estate development deal here in Tampa Bay. And you can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
Somewhere sunny and 75.
All right, we were expecting Robert Blackman on the show. He had something come up, but we are going to have more time with Anthony Rickman, so it works out great.
Great, stick around.
Yeah, man. Thanks for sticking around. So the criminal defense attorney, this is such an interesting area. I love law in general, but divorces and estate plans, that can be a little bit boring. This is awesome. I love talking about these things because it's really where someone's freedom is threatened. I mean, they're going to be locked up potentially when they come to see you. So there's got to be a high level of, explain how that kind of plays out.
Yeah, look, it's a high stakes game.
Yeah.
I mean, every time someone comes into my office, their life or their liberty is at stake, their career, their reputation. It's not, hey, I'm going to sue this guy, I want some money. This is something where, there is real stake in this game. And I'm not saying that other areas of law doesn't have that.
Right.
But in the criminal world, I mean, you have to be on your toes. You have to be on your feet. You have to have your head on a swivel.
Yep.
Every time that phone call rings, it can be one of the most serious cases that I've ever dealt with.
Yeah.
It could be a law enforcement executing a search warrant on a federal case, or somebody who had just killed somebody in a crash that may be impaired.
Yeah.
So with my area of practice, there's so much to do and so much different areas of law we gotta be aware of.
Yeah.
It's cool to have a fancy website. It's cool to advertise, but you got to be good at what you do, because at the end of the day, this person is counting on you.
Yeah.
They're counting on you to protect their rights. And I always get the question, how do you sleep at night being a criminal defense attorney? How do you do it? Well, look, my job as a criminal defense attorney is to represent the best interest of my clients and to protect them and preserve their rights. And not only that, but we as a criminal defense attorney serve as almost a gatekeeper. We hold law enforcement to their standard.
Right.
Look, if you don't have someone out there saying this police officer conducted an unlawful search, or this person's rights were violated, then there's no check and balance. In communist China, they can open your doors, take you out of the car, search your vehicle.
Yep.
We have a constitution. We have those rights. And as a criminal defense attorney, we are the gatekeeper, essentially, of those rights to make sure that our clients' rights aren't violated.
Yeah.
Because if law enforcement has no check, then it's unfettered.
There's free reign.
It's free reign.
And it's like the ultimate fiduciary. I mean, you're in a position where, like you mentioned, it's not just monetary. Yeah, there may be fines involved. You're talking about losing your freedom, losing the ability to see your kids on a daily basis, losing the ability to, enjoy your home or whatever you created your life to be. So criminal defense, what a big part of the American dream, and in the Constitution, which seems to be under attack today. It's what an awesome document that was created by our forefathers, our great forefathers, most of whom were Christian. They brought this Judeo-Christian beliefs to our country, so it was natural rights, God-given rights, not just government to be a despot or a tyrant.
Without a doubt, and there are all those rights, the presumption of innocence. People don't realize, John Adams, for instance, he represented the British soldiers.
Yeah, I remember that.
In the Boston Massacre. You don't realize one of our patriots, one of our founders, represented our enemy, essentially, in the Revolutionary War.
That's
because he stood by the principle that, he'd rather have all the guilty go free than one innocent man be convicted.
Yeah.
And he stood for what the Constitution stood for, a fair trial. The presumption of innocence, the right to confront your accuser, the right against unreasonable searches or seizures, the right to remain silent. So all of these rights are what our founders stood for. And slowly, we see the erosion of those rights. And we see, we talk about cancel culture. We talk about the mob.
Yep.
The mob is always quick to say, look what this person did.
Yep.
Really, you should be asking, what did this person accused of? What is this person innocent of? Because we all have that presumption.
Yeah, like Jesse Smollett or whatever, that case. What an unbelievable example of that.
Without a doubt. I mean, everyone was quick to say, hey, this guy was beaten by these people, and ultimately it was the end of the story. The Duke Lacrosse kids.
Yes.
Their lives were forever tarnished by a prosecutor who did an unjust prosecution.
Yep.
And you see case upon case where people, their lives are ruined, their characters ruined. We see press conferences every day, and we talked about last time where you have these pictures paraded on TV. This person did this person did this.
Yep.
The sheriff's not the judge, jury, and executioner.
Right.
He's presumed innocent. And we saw one today where there was another sex sting over in Polk County.
Yeah.
Over 100 people arrested related to the sex sting, and we saw another grade judge press conference. It was entertaining as usual. He had Pokemon up there saying he found Pokemon whispering in. Pokemon's a government witness because he found a Pokemon in an alleged sex predator's vehicle who was on his way to engage in unlawful activity with a child. And, this guy's presumed innocent. Now, ultimately, he may be guilty of sin.
Right.
But he has that presumption. You can't get back your reputation. You can't get back what the sheriff says about you. You can't get back the mugshot that's all over TV.
Yeah, like the DUI people, getting hit with DUIs. I put myself in position maybe in the past where I could have gotten one, but you see people, teachers or different people that are in the community, and it's like now they got their mugshot up there. Man, that's it. That's like you said. I mean, that's your reputation.
Well, it's tough, and especially DUIs. At the end of the day, if you are accused of a DUI, there's a lot of things that happen in those cases where just because someone's accused of it doesn't mean they're going to get that conviction.
Right.
And we see the buzz. Teacher arrested for DUI. Does it matter if he's a teacher or working at Walmart? I mean, it's a person who's arrested, accused of a crime because of who he is or his stature in the community.
Yep.
It's often elevated.
Yep.
And you can't get that back.
Yeah.
We try. The process, I do it a lot in my firm, is sealing and expunging your record.
Yep.
You can seal or expunge your record if you have no prior convictions and your case was dismissed. You can have, or you're found not guilty, you can have your record expunged.
Yep.
If you receive a withhold of adjudication, meaning you're not formally convicted, you can have your record sealed. And I offer that service to a lot of my clients. A lot of people, if you're listening, if you have something on your record, for instance,
right.
If your charges were dismissed and you have nothing else, come see me. I can expunge your record.
Yeah.
If you had a withhold, you can seal your record. Now, what that does is that removes your information, your mugshot, from any public website, the clerk of court, the sheriff's office.
Yep.
But it doesn't unring the bell.
Right.
You can't get back, for instance, there's a news article written about you.
Right.
I do a lot of media stuff, so obviously I'm sitting here. But, one of the things, you want to do is sort of move along, bury it. You don't want to go out and have a press conference, say, hey, by the way, it went away.
Yeah.
You don't want to redredge the issue.
Yeah, reach out to the hotline. We'd love to put you in touch with Anthony here if you have any issues along those lines, expungement, criminal defense. Anthony Rickman, the Rickman Law Firm, 813-750-0550. Just call or text that line, 813-750-0550. So we got about a minute left, Anthony. Any other thoughts or maybe some of the most common misnomers you have in your business?
Yeah, look, I mean, if you've been accused of a crime, understand, people say, oh, I'll just do it myself. I'll handle something. Always seek an attorney. I mean, for me, someone comes in my office, I'm going to give you a consultation.
Yep. Seek
me out. Talk to me. I'll shoot you in the right direction. I can give you advice on what to do and what not to do. A person who represents themselves has a fool for a client. It's a famous saying. You don't want to tackle this alone. Lawyers go to law school, and if you're going to talk to a lawyer, interview them. Don't just look at a fancy website on the internet. Don't just look at a flyer in your mailbox. I don't send out flyers. I think that's tacky.
Yeah.
If you've been arrested for a DUI and you got 100 flyers in your mailbox letting the whole neighborhood know you got something going on.
Right.
Do research on who you're going to hire. Make sure that they are the right person for you. They're going to answer the call.
Yeah, awesome. Good stuff. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
All right. So, hey, another great show. We want to thank all of our expert contributors, our producers behind the scenes putting the show together, and all of our listeners and viewers as well. Follow us online at Brandon Rhymes1 on Instagram and Twitter. Consumer Quarterback Show page out there as well on Facebook, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube. You can find us everywhere. And we want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Do something kind for one another. Be a force for good in the community. We'll see you next time right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show.